crafty babes, it's Andrea. I am for the very first time ever sharing a process video, a watch me work, in this new memory keeping format. I'm using a weekly template that I do have available in my shop, inspired by Shannon Pages. She does this digitally. And I was so inspired by this format. It just felt a little easier. It felt a little bit more free and tangible than Pockets. So this will be how I do all of my documenting in 2020. Well, all of my weekly family documenting. And my process is pretty much the same as if I were doing a Pocket page. It's just on a smaller scale. And I still will print out my photos in a photo template that is available with the whole package of this weekly template and some photo templates so that you can pop your photos in so that they're the right size and ratio. And I've also started using that same template for my project life cards, because all of these boxes are the same 2:3 ratio. And so a 3x4 card will fit perfectly with no extra trimming. You basically it's the same ratio. And so I've been using that for my cards as well, so that I can still use all of the digital stuff that I love and buy. And the process being that I still would like to try to alternate photos and cards, and still trying to find balance between photos and cards and color. And it's still pretty much my favorite part about this process. I also do give myself freedom to move the photo to a day that it didn't actually occur on. The whole date thing is kind of just like a guide, and it's just a little bit part of just the style of it looking like a calendar, like a little weekly spread. But I do not, I don't hold myself to, I'm only allowed to put this photo that was taken on the 8th in the column of the 8th. So I do allow myself to move them around based on what, works best for the layout. And I am just starting to I did pull out different colored embellishments that I thought would work well. I think I have all of the cards where I'd like them to be. If I have ideas about what I want to do on certain cards, I'll start kind of placing things on them like I did with that star. And then I'm also feeling like there needs to be some brown on that left box there. This is the first version of this template that I've made. So my 2020 version actually does not include those small boxes on the left. And it also doesn't include the small boxes on the very bottom. I just decided that I wasn't really using them and they were kind of hindering me. And so going forward in the 2020 pages that you'll see, I have actually removed those extra boxes. So the only boxes that are there are just the ones within the calendar. And then I'm just adding some embellishments to the top, just based on what I think I might use. And then just trying to figure out if there's any stickers or any colors that are kind of jumping out at me that I might also want to use. These are some Reset Girl stickers that I just keep going to. I've got this pile on my desk right now that I just love sorting through. Now I'm going to make my weekly title card, which is that top left-hand box card. And these are Carrie Bradford stamps. It's called by the numbers. I have consistently used these number stamps in every single weekly Project Life layout that I've done for 2019, because I really loved the consistency. And it was just easy to not have to think about something new every time I was creating a layout. And this stamp here is a stamp that I designed. It's called Weekish. And I've always wanted to make a stamp or have a stamp that has a lot of different ways and fonts for the word week, because we use up so many of our alpha stickers with the letter E. And so Citrus Twist Kits and I collaborated and designed this Weekish stamp, and it is available at citrustwist.com. We just sold out and then replenished. So if you weren't able to get it or you didn't know that it existed, you can go there. I'll have a link in the description. I also added some of those paint splatters. Those are also a Carrie Bradford stamp. I love them because I do not like to actually splatter paint on my layouts because it never goes where I want. And with those stamps, they always go where I want. I also used 4x6 cards also and make them the same ratio so that I can use them across two columns there. And the same could happen for a 3x8 card. You could use 3x8 card and go up vertically 2 boxes, which I will be doing. I saw someone do that and I thought, oh my gosh, that's genius. I totally forgot about all my 3x8 cards that could totally be used. So now I'm gluing everything down because I've looked at it for long enough. I do feel like it is ready to go. I'm ready to continue on embellishing and figuring out what else needs to go certain places. I'm just figuring out what I might do in that top left corner. That's kind of where I like to do a little bit of layering, and I'm using this book paper, so I'll just trim it and then do some layering on top. Trying to figure out what colors I might need up there. And I'm going to go with this brown wood color up top and then like a kind of like a mauve, a light red, and then of course a paper clip. And it's yellow, so it brings that yellow color all everywhere. I also used a little strip of the book paper down at the bottom just to kind of give it a little bit of balance down there. Starting to really commit to these embellishments now and stapling things. And then the next step is to do some stamping. So I'm going to actually embellish this star label, or the label that's on the star. And then there's a white card kind of in the center of, well, actually on day 8, there's a white card. And I really like this sentiment, but it's a little too long. So I'm just going to stamp half of it and then stamp the other half after I clean it off and make it stacked instead. And then I am doing it a little bit offset because I'm kind of liking the way that that looks these days. Like doing things down the center is very pretty, and I do love that look. And I do that often, but I kind of just was feeling a little wonky. So I'm going to use some other embellishments to help balance that card out instead of having everything be straight down the center. And always my go-to red little Studio Calico stars. And then I'm going to use a stitch stamp from Elaine Davis that is available at the Illustrated Faith shop. It's one of my favorite things to use. And then something I've been gravitating toward lately are these older Simple Stories word strip stickers. I just feel like sometimes I'm out of words. And if I find words that somebody else wrote that feel how I feel, then that's what I'm going to use. Just adding some hearts, some puffy hearts up here to that November card. I just felt like it needed a little bit of color. It was feeling a little bland up there. And now I'm just looking through to see if there's anything else that I want to add before I begin stamping as like my end embellishment. Stamping usually comes last and it just kind of finishes everything off. And when I used to use a more glossy photo paper, it was really difficult to stamp directly on photos because it was so slick, even with the StazOn. But now that I use a matte photo paper, it is just so fun to stamp directly on the photo because there's no sliding around and the dry time is almost non-existent. So I do that a lot. And you may have seen me pull out a little dish. I keep a dish of stamps out that I use a lot so that way I'm not having to constantly find them and pull them off. I do give them little warm water and soap bath every now and then because they get a little dusty. But it's been really helpful to have those just out and handy. And then I've also wanted to just add some kind of messy borders around some of those cards that I didn't do much to. And that a little bit of journaling finishes everything off. I hope you've enjoyed watching this process. I love this format so much. I will be recording more of these processes because they happen a little bit quicker actually. So I'm going to share some more of my process with you so you can watch me work, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day.